Hey guys, it's Wanda and welcome to Deep South. Today we're going to be talking about peas, field peas or cow peas. Now I've been out to my greenhouse and in there, my high tunnel, whatever you want to call it, and I have three different type of peas. I have the pink-eyed purple hull, I have the black-eyed peas, and I have the red ripper peas. Isn't that awesome? And I'm going to show you up close the difference. Then in the field, in our front garden, I planted Dixie Lees. Now the deer got them really bad when they got our sweet potatoes, and only about a dozen plants or so lived. And we're harvesting all kinds of peas from the Dixie Lees. We're going to talk about all of these peas. They're field peas, not green peas or not English peas. These grow here in the South, and a lot of people do call them cow peas, and we cook them fresh. We pick them before they dry and we cook them fresh. And that's what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks. Our peas in the high tunnel, the black-eyed peas, the pink-eyed purple hulls, fixing to go out, and I'm not going to have those anymore. The red rippers, these big, pretty, long peas, are just starting. Danny also planted red rippers on the back hill, and we've been using Billy from Permapasture Farms bone sauce. Right now, these peas are looking amazing. They are beautiful. If we can keep the deer out, the bone sauce works, Billy. We're going to have some seeds to sell. Now, there's a noticeable difference in all four of these peas. These are the Dixie Lees. These are the pink-eyed purple hulls, black-eyed peas, and the red rippers. Look at the red rippers compared to the others. It looks like a giant pea. Okay, these peas are, after they're shelled, you can see the difference in the pink-eyed purple hull, the red ripper, the Dixie Lees, and the black-eyed peas. These are picked before they dry. So guys, I've got these peas. Danny and I have been picking for a while, and I want to show you how I usually put them up. These are a combination of all four type peas in here. Now this bag is pretty full, and I feel them pretty full because you can open them up and take out what you want to eat. And we usually do about a cup to a cup and a half a meal for the two of us. It's not a lot of peas, so a quart will go sometimes 3 meals. These two I've started. So I've got 3 quarts nearly full. What I do is when I pick, like these today, I will shell out. I'll probably have half a cup, maybe 3/4 of a cup of peas. If I don't want to cook them fresh, I just add them to this bag. Then, when this bag gets full, I start another bag. One reason these bags are down is like a couple of days ago, I took out some to cook, and we cook them fresh. I take and put them in boiling water. I cover them. I add salt and a little bit of seasoning. You can add anything you want, but we usually add lard that we have fried something in, whether it's turkey or beef or something like that. If I have a little bit left over, you can use bacon grease, whatever you want to use. And I put a spoonful of it over in my boiler in the water. And then I cook them about, I get them to boiling, cook them about 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes 25 according. Make sure they're tender, perfect to eat as a side dish. I've always frozen peas. My mom put them in the freezer, I put them in the freezer. But a few years ago, Danny and I started canning peas. So I have some done that way. Now this is a variety of peas that I've canned. These are the Mississippi cream peas. Now these are a field pea, but they're green. You will find that your cream peas, lots of them are green looking when they're cooked, but still a field pea or a cow pea. So this is the Mississippi cream pea. We plant what's called a butter pea. It looks like a butter bean, but it's in a pea shape. It's weird. It comes in a butter bean hull, but has a pea shape. I guess that's the best way to say it. It's just a pea that grows here in Mississippi and other southern states. I'm sure it would probably grow in northern states in greenhouses. It's on a bush like butter beans. It has a butter bean hull, but the shape is a fat thing like a pea. These are the pink-eyed purple hulls. One of my grandsons could eat his weight in these peas. These are the Red Rippers. And yes, they do have, they kind of solidify. It's got a gel substance in them, which is perfectly okay. You can use these Red Rippers as pea, like you do in Mexican dishes where they use refried beans. Red Ripper peas work the same way. Black-eyed peas. Hey, who can't love black-eyed peas, especially January 1st? So I go ahead and cook them fresh. But I've also done these, I think I let them dry, then cooked them. You can do them both ways. Okay guys, so now I've showed you frozen peas, fresh peas, and canned peas. We took it a step further the last couple of days, and I'm fixing to get something out of the freeze dryer, and I'm going to show you the peas that I did in the freeze dryer, tell you a little bit about it. Our freeze dryer is a Harvest Right freeze dryer. It was sent to us by Harvest Right to try out in our humid area. And we've had rain all year long, so I have not run my Harvest Right 24/7 like people up north do. I choose days when I know I've got 2 to 3 days that it's not real humid, and I run it at that point. I've done a variety of things with the Harvest Right freeze dryer, and you can see it in the freeze drying playlist that I have. But today we did peas, and I want to show you. I did a few other things, and we'll show you those too. But I'm going to go ahead and get everything out. I'm going to put some out for us to try. And y'all, it is amazing what you can do with a freeze dryer. I'm just really shocked. I like all three ways. Each freezing, canning, and freeze drying all has its benefits. It all has its negative things. But let me show you what's going on with the freeze dryer, guys. Link in the description below if you want to check out Harvest Right. But in our humid conditions, I have to have reasonably dry weather because it is in my she shed, and I have a separate room where it's in. I run a fan on it, and then I take things out and I have to bring it inside. So between the she shed and the house, I can't have it raining. I can't have it extremely humid, because the moisture will absorb from there to here. Even though it only takes less than a minute to get here, the moisture is a negative thing with a freeze dryer. You have to make sure no moisture gets in whatsoever. So I'm going to go get those. I'm going to package up what I need to package up, and then we're going to talk about the peas and the other things, and I'll show you what I did with my freeze dryer. I used the Harvest Right freeze dryer Mylar bags. They're gorgeous, they look good, they've got a place to write on, and so far I've had no issues with these bags. I like them. They seem to hold in the dryness of the food, I guess you would say. And I do use the Harvest Right, what they sell, I guess you would say, they're oxygen absorbers. I had to buy several because you go through these bags pretty fast if you freeze dry quite a lot. They also send a heat sealer, and this is wonderful for just sealing food. It doesn't take the oxygen out. It doesn't vacuum seal. It just heat seals. And that is great because if you vacuum seal freeze-dried food, it tends to make it a powder almost, because it pulls all the moisture out and squeezes it down on it. I did some peppers that way, and they are, when I open them, they will be mashed, just saying. I wait until I'm ready to bring my trays in. I go ahead and write on my bags. I don't open these. Now I have this in a vacuum sealed thing. Once I open a pack of the oxygen absorbers, I put them in a vacuum seal bag and I seal them back down. And today I will be using these, so I won't need to seal it again. I use a long bag, vacuum seal them down. As I open them, the bag gets shorter, and I keep vacuum sealing. These I have used half a bag, put a little amount in one part and a little amount in the other. I'll heat seal it in the center and then heat seal it at the top, and you have two separate things that go together like rice and beef for a meal. So that is a easier way to do this. Now I will write on them before I bring it in, because I don't want to spend any time between getting them out of the freeze dryer and getting them in bags and getting them sealed. I want it the least amount of time, the least amount of touching anything that I can have. So I'll have all this done. We'll get the trays and we'll put the food in as fast as possible and get it heat sealed. And then we'll be back to show you some of the food, because I did do watermelon. I've got almost 2 trays of watermelon. I did okra, and this is fresh okra. I didn't cook it, it's fresh. And then on the top I did peppers. Then on the one watermelon tray, I did the peas. I did a few peas on it. I am doing the okra first. I already have my oxygen absorbers in there, and we just put some in there. I mean, it's crunchy. Like I'm always telling you, it's like Cheetos. This can be eaten as a snack if you wanted to. Danny's been telling people about okra water. This can be rehydrated for okra water. You can put it in soups. I've even showed you, you can fry this okra. You can rehydrate this and fry it. And we thought that was amazing to be able to fry okra from this. So it is something that you can do any way you want. Fried okra from freeze-dried, simply amazing. And I try to get as much air out as possible. And you have 2 notches on the end, and I go kind of just above it and do it one time, and then move over just a hair and do it a second time. That's called double sealing, and that way you can cut your notches and open this up. And I have this set on about, I think it's a 6 or a 7 on here, so it doesn't melt the Mylar. You don't want to melt the Mylar in half and cut it off. You just want to seal it really good. And by double sealing, that means that if you missed a spot the first time with the sealer, maybe you'll get it the second time. Double sealing's just a safe bet. And these were pepper halves that I've just put in here. It is so much better to do them in the Mylar and heat seal them than it is to put them in and vacuum seal. I'm going to show you the vacuum seal in just a moment. And some people do wear gloves and things so they're not touching, but I found I have no issues here once I'm in the house with stuff. And once again, try to get as much air out as possible before sealing. This is a heat sealed bag of peppers in Mylar. So you can see, you can still hear they're crunchy. And I've got some I checked earlier. They're still, after a couple of months, the peppers are still crunchy inside. That's how I test. I walk by, and I don't mind if 1 or 2 is crushed because I'll add it to something. All right, I vacuum sealed some. Look at this. I'm talking, it vacuum sealed them down to there's nothing there. When I open them up, I'm pretty sure they're going to be pretty crushed. And this is the chopped peppers. These will go great in any dish you want. But you see how it pulled all the moisture out, sucked it down. We'll see. I prefer the Mylar because it doesn't crush your food. All right, this is the watermelon and the peas. And the watermelon I want to hurry up and get in a bag because I do not want my watermelon to get any moisture in it at all. You don't want it to dry out. If you've never had freeze-dried watermelon, you need to try it. It is like the perfect snack. And I do recommend drinking water when you're eating freeze-dried foods of any kind. Drink plenty of water. But the taste is phenomenal. Watermelon and cantaloupe was one of our favorite things that we freeze-dried. Probably very much. And we raised this watermelon here. This was our last watermelon of this season, and I thought I'm going to preserve it. All right, the peas are the last thing, and they look just like peas. Like when I cooked them, that's what they look like. You can see, just little freeze-dried peas. I'm going to taste these, and then I'm going to add water and reconstitute them. But as you can see, we have watermelon peppers and okra to go in our stash. And I put these in big totes, plastic totes that have a seal around them that you can take. When you shut the lid, the handles fold up and it creates a seal, so there is nothing can get in there to them. All right, so I have my peas here, and I'm just going to take some. I got like 5 on a spoon, and we're just going to munch on them, because this could be a snack if you don't have a way to heat it or you have no water. But I'd recommend water on hand at all times for any freeze-dried foods. You could powder these down. You'd never know the difference. These things are amazing. It almost tastes like a boiled peanut, and if you've never had a boiled peanut, you're missing out. Okay, so I'm adding water, and we're going to let these rehydrate. And you asked how much water. This is a guesstimation. I've seen nobody do field peas, but field peas are great with the juice poured over cornbread. So if you have extra juice, and I'm going to show you in a minute, and you've got some cornbread, you are in business. I just kind of covered them in water, and they've absorbed quite a bit. So it's been less than a minute. And I'm not sure how much they've absorbed a good bit, so I'm going to try a few now. Almost. I'd say give them about 2 minutes. They're getting more like a pea. This is amazing. I'm going to tell you. I've never seen anything do like a freeze dryer. The fact that these things will reconstitute to peas and taste like peas. And see this juice? How it's turning? That juice is flavored because my peas have already got salt and a little bit of my fat in it for the seasoning. Oh my. These are ready to eat field peas. I'm talking ready to eat. I had all types of field peas, whether it's black-eyed peas, Dixie Lees, pink-eyed purple hulls, and red rippers in this mix, and they are amazing. Fresh. Let's see, freeze-dried, they were okay. They would make a good snack. What about, have they reconstituted? It's been almost 2 minutes. Y'all, it's absolutely amazing. Field peas are doable. Danny and I talked about this, and we said if it works and they reconstitute back and it tastes like a pea, and it does, it's amazing. We will start doing some of our peas this way. We will start doing some of the beans and things like that. We will cook them and drain them, and then put them on the trays and then freeze dry some down. This is absolutely amazing, guys. I never thought field peas. I was thinking all kinds of stuff, but field peas was not it. Another way just to have a longer harvest with your vegetables. So pretty much we've done most vegetables that we grow. We have freeze dried almost everything from Cherokee tan pumpkins, watermelons, cantaloupes, peppers, squash, you name it, all the berries. We've done the fruits that we do, figs and apples and pears and peaches. We've done everything. It's all amazing. We've done meat, and meat is simply, I never thought beef would taste like that freeze dried, but it was amazing. So we've done a lot with the freeze dryer, and we don't do a whole lot of videos because I'm having to sporadically do the freeze dryer when I have time, and I'm usually doing something else because the freeze dryer is on its own. When you put something in it, you don't have to worry about it. You just leave it for, usually here I'm leaving it about 20 hours because most everything needs 20 hours. When I check it, if it's not totally dry, you can tell. If it feels cold anywhere, run it again. Add a few more hours. And sometimes I go 20 to 24 to 27 hours. According to what I'm freeze drying, I really slice the watermelon really thin this time because it takes a long time. It takes several more hours with watermelon because they're all water. So this time 20 hours did really great with the watermelon. The fourth way to preserve field peas or cow peas is to dry them. You can either let them dry on the vine, which is the best, to let them at least start getting dry, and then take them off once the outer shell starts turning. The purple ones, once they start feeling dry, you can see they turn a brown color, but they're purple looking when you take them off. They start turning a browner color. The Dixie Lees turn this color. The black-eyed peas are these. So you can use these dry peas in any way you want. You can rehydrate them and cook them like you do any dried pea or bean. I showed in a previous video making soup with them. I had a mixture of dried peas and beans that I added to a soup, and it was fantastic. You can just make dried beans and you can rehydrate them, add them to some soup bone or some broth, and just cook them and serve them as a side dish. You can grind peas and beans down and use them as flour if needed. They will have a distinctive taste, but it can be done. So guys, that's ways on field peas that you can harvest and preserve. I hope you enjoyed today's video on field peas. Guys, I'm amazed, as always, with the Harvest Right Freeze Dryer. Check out the link in the description below, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you from Deep South Homestead.